All right, Ms. Wurzburger, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Charm TV. The Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. Proceedings will now begin. Please take this opportunity to turn off or mute all electronic devices. The board is now in session. The first item on the agenda is a 180-day hardship extension. Sarbjeet Singh, secured creditor, 1269 Washington Boulevard, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license, request for a hardship extension under the provisions of alcoholic beverages and cannabis article, Section 12-2202. Please come forward.
Mr. Previous, before you begin, can I take a point of privilege? So the board wants to congratulate our Chief Inspector, John Chrisomalis, for completing that state police training program, which I understand took like a year to do. So congratulations. That's great. We're very proud. And now we may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Terry Previs on behalf of secured creditor. This is a 180-day hardship request.
Yes.
As I understand, we need
Mr. Previs, I'm sorry, can you turn your microphone? Thank you. Yeah.
There we go. 180-day hardship request. Tell us what's going on.
We need to get zoning approval before putting in any sort of application, and that's the basis for the 180-day request.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. All right, on the basis then of the written request filed by your father? Uncle?
Father.
Father, yes. On April 26, 2024, and your proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 180-day hardship extension for this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Yes, based on material, a letter from the attorney, and the testimony, I also vote to approve the request for hardship extension of 180 days.
Based on your office's April 26th letter and the proffer made today, I also vote to approve this 180-day hardship extension of this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Curtis Hahn LLC, trading as Park Bench Pub, 1747 through 49 Belt Street, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for a transfer hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Section 12-1705, little b. Please come forward.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Commissioner. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicant.
What's going on here, Mr. Fogelman?
Okay, so yeah, my letter of May 15th sums it up. There was a tenant in this building prior to the application being filed. The tenant was evicted and did significant damage, ripped out wires and pipes and things like that on the way out. And so it's just extensive renovations that have to be performed. They feel like they can get this done within 90 days from June 11th. So we thank you.
Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. Mr. Fogelman, on the basis then of your written request of May 15 and your proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this BG7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Yes, based on material, a letter from the attorney, and the testimony, I also vote to approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Based on your May 15th letter and your proffer made today, I also vote to approve this 90-day request for a transfer hardship extension of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Semery Management LLC, trading as Pizza Harbor, 2 East Wells Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for a transfer hardship extension under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Section 12-1705, little b. Please come forward.
Hi, good morning.
Are
Good
you
morning,
Mr.
Chairman.
Samurai?
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So you wrote to the board on May 13th and requested a 90-day hardship extension. Tell us what's the basis for it.
So we had a little, the seller on their end had a lot of flags on their accounts, so it took them a while to clear that all up. Everything was cleared, we were good to go. I was advised to to file for extension.
Okay. So you think it'll be done soon?
Yes,
Okay.
we are all ready to go.
All right. Commissioners have questions?
No question.
No questions.
All right, thank you. Mr. Emery, on the
Thank you,
basis of your written request to the board of May 13, and your proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you so much.
Yes, based on material, letter from the licensee, and testimony, a vote to approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Based on your May 13th letter and your proffer made, and your statement made today, I also vote to approve this 90-day transfer hardship extension of your Class B beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you so
Russell?
much, gentlemen.
No exhibit for the record.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Method Terrapin Manager LLC, Roost, Baltimore, 2460 Terrapin Way, Unit LU E5B, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license, request for a transfer hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Section 12-1705B. Please come forward.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Drew Tilden of Rosenberg Martin Greenberg, here on behalf of the applicant. I am joined by individual licensee, Mr. Chris Allen.
And Ms. Hecker wrote to us back in May and requested this extension. Can you give us a little more background?
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, they have obtained their use and occupancy permit, construction is complete, and they've also passed their health inspection. So right now, they're working on their trader's license, which they anticipate being issued by the end of next week, and they're also working on their food license. So we think we should be ready for the license to be issued by the end of this month.
Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tilden, I don't know if I mentioned this to you. Chuck Tilden is your dad,
He is.
and he and I worked together at the United Way on the homelessness project for years. A great guy.
Yeah,
Good to know that.
big fan.
So on the basis then of Ms. Hecker's letter of May 13 and your proffer this morning, I vote to approve a 90-day transfer hardship extension for this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Yes, based on materials, letter from the attorney, and a testimony, I also vote to approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Based on Ms. Hecker's May 13th letter and proffer made by council today, I also vote to approve this 90-day transfer hardship extension of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving into violations. Excuse me. JRC 23 Inc., trading as OK Tavern, 2301 East Biddle Street, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.20, little c to little I. Prohibited activities by license type, open and operating tavern at all times. Violation of Rule 3.09, little a, restroom facilities and health regulations, for having a non-functioning restroom, and violation of Rule 3.09B, restroom facilities and health regulations for compliance with state and city health department laws, rules, and regulations. Please come forward.
Before you begin, can you gentlemen raise your right hands, please? Sir.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Shaw, this is going to be admission or denial?
I can't admit all the violations.
What are you willing to admit?
I would admit it that particular day they were not open.
Okay, you're admitting the first violation, not the restroom?
The restroom, the only thing in the restroom was a mop and broom.
Well, let's get some testimony. Okay, let's start with the inspector.
And I'm sorry, if the inspector can state your name.
If you'll come up to the microphone, please, give us your name.
Inspector Kenyatta, Washington.
I understand you're leaving us.
It's been a pleasure, but I guess I am.
It's been our pleasure, too. Wish you luck.
Same here.
Okay, go ahead.
So, should we start with the restroom?
Well,
or just the-
yes, let's talk about the restroom. What did you find?
So when I went in the restroom,
And this was on March 1, 2024,
yes, at approximately 12:15.
in the afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So when we started off in the whole tavern, the tavern just wasn't set up at all. It looked like an office. And so we start going all around. So we said we're gonna start from the front and just do everything. So a part of our checklist for an inspection is restrooms. So I went in the restrooms. The restroom was filthy and it didn't look like it was operable because it had cleaning supplies and stuff in it. So
So you violated them?
yes.
Okay. Do you want to put on testimony, Mr. Shawless?
Well, I'd just like to ask some questions.
Go ahead.
Have you been back there since?
Yes, I have.
And how many times since that day?
Only once.
Only once? Is this your report? Oh, no, it's a bad copy.
This is not my report. This is Agent Perez's
that's-
report.
Do you know whose report that is?
Yes, Agent Perez. I'm Agent Washington. I mean, I'm Inspector
Okay.
Washington.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
But this report, if you read it, it indicates that everything had been straightened out, no further violations.
I cannot attest to that because there's no date.
Yeah, cut off.
No, it's not cut off, it's blank. Date's right there where it says date and time, it's blank.
I'm sorry, whose report was that?
Okay.
This is
An inspection report.
Agent Perez.
Is he here? Oh, let's get him up here and see if he can identify it for us, okay?
Sorry.
Agent, may you raise your right hand?
Right.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Agent, can you take a look at that document and see if you remember it?
Yes, sir. This was my most recent inspection from May 31st.
Okay, so that answers your question, Mr. Shawless.
Did you find everything in order?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Anything else?
No?
Okay. So, all right, do you want to put on any testimony, or shall we just proceed?
I would like to put in some exhibits. If they need to be identified, then I'll put on testimony.
All right, what do we have? Let me see.
Just pictures of the places it is now. And I'd also make a proffer that what happened on that particular day, there was no hot water, so the place was closed.
Why
The bar was
didn't they tell the
closed on that
inspector
day.
that? Why didn't they tell Inspector Washington that?
Sir,
Why didn't they tell the inspector about that?
I don't know if he did.
Well, he would have noted that, I'm sure. Did they tell you that?
Well, they said no hot water.
Where- Well, I mean, it's not up to him to decide why they were closed. He's not the licensee.
I understand.
Okay.
You're right. You should have told him. Should have told him it's not open because we're in violation of the health thing, and that's what you just violated me for anyway. So,
Okay. Anything further,
no, I don't think so.
commissioners?
I think we'll go with
No.
that.
No.
All right. Thank you, everybody. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the proffer from counsel, which included an admission of the Rule 4.20 small c double I violation, I find violation of Rule 4.20 small c double I, violation of Rule 3.09 small a, and violation of Rule 3.09 small b, all on March 1, 2024. This is the second time for not being open and operating that we found them. Maybe the water was off. Did you have any sense of that?
Not until I started the inspection.
Did you find that the water was cut off?
Yes, it wasn't cut off, it just wasn't hot. It
Oh,
just running
just
cold.
wasn't hot, okay. All right, well, I'll give him a $500 fine as to the first violation and a $250 fine as to each of the other two, and give him 30 days to pay. Commissioners?
I'm sorry, was that $250 on each of
Yeah,
them?
of this other two. So it's a $1,000 fine and 30 days to pay.
Isn't there any better you could do, Judge? I mean, that's pretty tight for a small
Well,
operation.
he was fined once before of almost $1,000, and it didn't do any good. So, second time around.
Doesn't anybody take into consideration the economic circumstances in that neighborhood?
I could, but I could fine him up to $20,000, so I think $1,000
I know you could,
is a reasonable amount. I'm going to stick with it. Commissioners, any questions or your rulings?
Yes, based on materials and testimony provided today, I agree with the chair's findings, a violation of Rule 4.20, $500, violation of Rule 3.09A, $250, and violation of Rule 3.09B, $250.
Based on the violation report, proffer made by counsel, testimony given, and exhibits that were entered, I also agree with the chairman that there was a violation of Rule 4.20 C double I. a violation also of Rule 3.09A and a violation of Rule 3.09B. And I do agree with the fine of $500 for the first violation of 4.20C II, and a violation of fine of $250 for the other two violations, Rule 3.09A and B, and it's $1,000 total. And those violations did happen on March 1st, 2024. You have 30 days to pay.
Thank you. Ms.
Thank you very
Russell,
much.
you accept those exhibits that he gave?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Inspector Washington, dated 3/1/24. Exhibit number 2, photos.
Thank you. He needs to get a better lawyer. Tell him how to run his place.
5401 Bel Air Inc., trading as Garden Liquors, 5401 Bel Air Road, Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.05 little b, prohibited hours, under Section 12-2004A1, 2 little I in the Maryland Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis article, which permits the licensee to operate 1 to 9 p.m. on Sundays under certain circumstances. Please come forward.
How do you pronounce your name, sir?
Rajpal Grewal?
Grewal?
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand, please, Mr. Grewal?
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Would you like to admit this and explain it, or do you want to deny it and have us put on evidence?
Yeah, we did it.
Deny it? Okay. Agent, come on up.
No, I mean.
Did he say, he said did it?
Oh, I misunderstood you, so you're admitting it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Because my employee did.
Okay, all right, so you were operating past the hours. You want to tell us what was going on that day?
Yeah, they did.
Well, anything else you want to tell us, explanation? No, you just want to take the hit. Well, you're an honest man. I'm sure your school principal liked you for being so honest. Sadly, though, you've got a series of other violations here. Sales to minors 3 times, and, well, the protest I won't hold against you, but it's not good. The commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, on the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the testimony of Mr. Grewal, which included an admission, I find a violation of Rule 4.05 small b on December 31, 2023. He's been fined repeatedly. I'm going to have to give you a $1,000 fine as well, and give you 30 days to pay, and that's based on your record, sir. Otherwise, I would have been more lenient. Commissioners?
Yes, based on materials and testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings, a violation of Rule 4.05B and $1,000 fine.
Based on the violation report and I guess your admission you made today, also ruled that there was a violation of 4.05B, prohibited hours, on December 31st, 2023, and fined you $1,000 with 30 days of pay.
Good luck, sir. Thank you.
Like to call
Ms. Russell,
exhibits.
yeah.
Can you make it 500?
I'm afraid not, but nice try.
Thank you.
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Angel Perez, dated 12/31/23.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Wurzburg, I think that's the docket.
Yes, sir. There being no further business before this board, the board is in recess until Thursday, June 27th at 10:30 a.m. We're adjourned.
Happy Father's Day, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks.